everyone, so this is video 4 out of 5 of my little history of Ilvermorny, School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. And I'll leave a bunch of links right here to all the other 3 videos I've done so far about Isolde and how she first got to America, about her whole little adventure before building the school and then their adventure after building the school. And now in this video I'm going to be talking about Gormlaith sort of now coming back and how all that chaos happens. So with that, Gormlaith heard rumors in Ireland about this new school in America that was built in the mountains of Massachusetts, and she didn't quite believe it at first that it could have been Isolde, even though she heard rumors about this person who sounded a lot like Isolde, and she sort of finally came to the realization that it was Isolde when she heard that the school was named Ilvermorny. And so Gormlaith still reeked with anger about Isolde stealing Salazar Slytherin's wand from her, and also finding out that Isolde married a non-magical person. She didn't want that in her bloodline at all, so she decided to go over to America herself, disguised as William Sayer, who is Isolde's father, as I said in the first video. And so Gormlaith traveled to America, making her way from Virginia to Massachusetts, and slowly making it up the mountains to Ilvermorny on a really cold winter night. And once she saw the school and saw how grand and great it was, she was amazed slightly, but more she was still determined to do what she came to do. And so she first did a curse to put Isolde and James to sleep, and then she started to speak in Tongue, which caused Salazar Slytherin's wand that Isolde had to go to sleep itself, because that was something that, because inside Salazar Slytherin's wand the core was of a basilisk, and so it was sort of, the wand was trained over the years by all of the different keepers, that when this one sort of saying was said in Tongue, that the wand would become basically inactive unless the other saying was said to reverse it. And so her wand, Isolde's wand, is now completely useless, and she and James are asleep. And Gormlaith was unaware of all the other people currently residing in Ilvermorny as well, which the main 2 people being Chadwick and Webster. And for the fact that their wands also contained the core of a snake, that being the horned serpent. When that same saying was being said to put Isolde's wand to sleep, their wands did the opposite, and they became very active and started to vibrate and doing all this stuff, causing Webster and Chadwick to wake up. And Chadwick went to the window and looked out and saw Gormlaith down there, and unaware to Isolde and James, Chadwick knew about Gormlaith by overhearing all the stories Isolde told James over the years. And the few nights before, Chadwick had been having dreams about a mysterious lady coming to the school, and those dreams are now coming true. So he went to Webster and told Webster to go and wake up Isolde and James, and Chadwick went down the stairs to go and fight Gormlaith. And Gormlaith was not expecting to meet a teenager as she grew closer to the school, and especially a teenager with such great ability that Chadwick had, that Chadwick was pretty close to being equally matched to every attack that Gormlaith did. And so she started to fight Chadwick, not expecting him to be much, but he was a pretty great match to her powers, that Gormlaith was fairly impressed, and asked him what his bloodline was, and saying that if he was a pureblood that she would do somewhat of sparing him, because she didn't want to hurt another pureblood wizard. But Chadwick just kept fighting her, and they kept going back and forth. Meanwhile, Webster was up in Isolde and James' rooms trying to do everything to wake them up, but nothing was working. That he finally descended the stairs of Ilvermorny, coming outside to go and fight alongside Chadwick against Gormlaith, and with their two wands both containing the Horned Serpent core, once as they were fighting together, each of their powers became stronger and stronger, becoming even more equally matched to Gormlaith. But even that could not be enough, and Webster and Chadwick eventually had to slowly back their way back into cover inside the school of Ilvermorny. And the walls started to crack and the windows started to shatter around them in the school. And the only thing that managed to wake up Isolde and James was the cries of their daughters that were upstairs. Because Gormlaith once again did not plan for anyone else to be in there. She only was expecting it to be James and Isolde. That she did not plan for the magical breaking abilities that the Power of Love had. Much to the same abilities that happened previous in the Harry Potter series. So Isolde woke up and told James to go upstairs and protect the daughters, and Isolde took Salazar Slytherin's wand and went downstairs to help Webster and Chadwick. And she went to go and attack, and the wand didn't work. So Gormlaith knocked back Chadwick, Webster, and Isolde, and started to head upstairs even more, and met James and the babies face to face in the babies' rooms. And right before Gormlaith was about to do a deadly attack on James, Isolde made one last cry out to her father, and William the Puckwudgie showed up, shooting a poisonous arrow directly into the heart of Gormlaith. And every chance that Gormlaith tried to do to try and heal herself just made the poison of the arrow spread more and more quickly into her, eventually causing Gormlaith to basically crumble into dust and her wand to break, and basically for Gormlaith to be no more than just a pile of dust, with some strains of a original core of a dragon that had once been in the wand just resting there, sort of starting to fray out of existence. And so the fight with Gormlaith was over, and William was slightly angry at Isolde that she, over all these years, that Isolde never cared to call for her. But Isolde didn't really care to try and counter it by saying that at that moment she wasn't calling for William the Puckwudgie, but William her father. She didn't care to say that and make this whole conversation with William the Puckwudgie worse. And James, being so thrilled to finally meet the Puckwudgie that he had heard so many stories that Isolde had told him about this Puckwudgie, that he completely forgot about all this stuff about Puckwudgies not being big fans of humans, and he decided to go and shake the hand of William the Puckwudgie and let him know that he had named his house in Ilvermorny after the Puckwudgies. And in some sort of weird determination, William decided to stay and moved his family in basically the next day. So the school had a whole bunch of Puckwudgies. Now, the Puckwudgies pretty much became like the school's both bodyguards and maintenance team. And the Puckwudgies helped James and Isolde and the rest of them sort of rebuild the school after all the chaos that Gormlaith had done in the school the previous night. And because of Gormlaith's command on Salazar Slytherin's wand in Posseltongue, the wand still remained inactive, and with Isolde not being able to speak in Posseltongue herself, the wand could never be fixed. So she and James decided to go and bury the wand in front of the school one day, and Isolde just probably picked up a new wand, I'm not sure on that. And as the years went on, the area where Salazar Slytherin's wand had been buried eventually grew a giant snakewood tree that was unable to be cut or damaged. But the tree also grew leaves that had very great medical properties and healing and stuff. And yeah, that's sort of the background history of when Gormlaith came back into the picture of this whole story, and how that all went down and how she finally came out of the picture. And in the next video I'm going to be talking about a bit of what Ilvermorny is like today. So, yeah. stay tuned for that video.